guys, and welcome to Mindfulness Monday. Today we are going to go over the basics of what mindfulness actually is, and we're going to do a little bit of not journaling per se, because a lot of people get put off when you're just learning to become more mindful and aware of what's going on. Journaling can be quite overwhelming for a lot of people. So we're going to just do some really basic, what I call storytelling. So what actually is mindfulness? Well, mindfulness sort of has three major components. One is when we start paying attention on purpose, because all too often our brain is in autopilot and it just clicks through what goes on and we're not even really aware of what's happening. Have you ever driven your car to work? You're driving the same way that you've been going for 5 years. You get to work and you go, oh my gosh, I can't even recall that drive. I don't even remember really what happened in that drive. We are so not paying attention. We are just on autopilot. That's the first thing. We are paying attention on purpose. The other thing is we become quite aware of our thoughts and our emotions. Often we just react, and that is another, it becomes a habit. It's a pattern form of thinking, and we just simply react to what's going on. So when we become more mindful, we simply become aware of our thoughts and feelings. And the third aspect is the no judging. And that is the hardest part, I find, for most of my clients when it comes to mindfulness. Because what tends to happen is my clients start to become more aware. They become aware on purpose, and they of their thoughts and feelings and situations. And then they start to freak out of what on earth is going on in their head, and they can hear all these negative thoughts or negative images, and everything comes up that's usually not so great. So then what do? They beat themselves up over all the crap that's going on. And then they just go, all right, I want to change it immediately. That's not how it all works. It's like anything. When we practice anything and we become more aware, we can change things quite gradually. So what I want to do, today's mindfulness technique is all about mindfulness storytelling. The way we see the world, everybody sees the world, is through our own stories. It's our own perception. So if you and I were doing something together and sharing an experience, we would both see that differently. It might be 90% the same, but there'll be a slight version of the way we see it. It's the way we perceive. And we tell stories, and the reason I call it we tell stories is it's how we interpret the world. So what I want you to do is I want you to get a notepad. Now, these are the notepads that I've created for the teenage self-care in a box, and it says, oh great, another thing to worry about. These are, to help teenagers get all the crap that's in there out on a piece of paper. Now, what I love about this is it's not big. So grab yourself a notepad that is not big, because then you can't write that much on it. What I want you to do is think of a situation. Think of something that is going on, and it doesn't have to be huge. It can be anything. And I want you to write down the story. Now, I want you to write it down without judging it. Do not judge your grammar, do not judge your spelling, do not judge it, just write down what is going on in your head, a simple story. So for example, might be that my partner is really, really annoying. So I might write down, my partner is so annoying. They are so lazy, they don't care about the house, they never do anything around the house. I have to do anything and it makes me so angry, and that might be your story. Then I would like you to put it away and go and have a cup of tea or coffee and go on with your day. And then a few hours later, I want you to come back to the story. Once the story's gone out of your head and come back, then I want you to get one of these things. And I want you to highlight the facts in the story. Now, a fact is something that we would all agree on. And a fact usually causes limited emotion, limited reaction, because we respond to everything our own way. So I want you to highlight the facts in your story. So if you say, my partner is annoying, okay, well, that's not a fact. In the simple way is, I bet there are a lot of people out there that don't believe your partner is annoying. Their work colleagues, their parents, their children, their cousins, their friends that don't believe that your partner's annoying. So that's not a fact. That's your interpretation, your story. You might have written that my partner is lazy. Once again, that is your version. That is your rule. You have a rule of what you consider lazy and not lazy. And everybody has a different version of lazy and not lazy. So once again, that's not a fact. And we might be talking about that you do everything. Now, you may do everything. I don't know, this is your story, but I just want you to highlight the facts. Once you've highlighted the facts in this story, I want you to read what's left. What is left is your story. It is your perception. It is your interpretation of what is going on. Now, this interpretation, they are thoughts that you are having in your head, and now we are becoming aware of them. Now we're starting to recognize them on purpose. Now, please don't judge the story that you now have. We are just becoming aware. When we become aware, that's when we can make changes. But in order to make changes, we need to become aware on why it's happening. So that is the simple mindfulness technique that I want you to do. If you do once a day, you're amazing, because a lot of people might do one a week. Do it once a day for 7 days. And if you want, to DM me one of your stories, I can help you highlight what are the facts and what is your perception. And from there, we just simply accept what is going on before we even come close to making any changes. So that is the mindfulness technique for today, for Monday, Mindfulness Monday. I hope you have a fabulous Monday and a fabulous week, and get these stories out onto a piece of paper with a highlighter, and let's see how we go. See you guys.